Donald Duck was peeling a potato, and somehow, he carved it into the shape of an airplane. But when he tried to make the plane fly, it accidentally took off with the officer's hat. The hat flew right back to Donald Duck without even looking up. Donald grabbed the hat and started peeling it too, completely unaware that the officer was standing outside the door. By the time he realized, the hat had already been turned into a string of artworks. The officer seemed to understand what Donald was thinking, so he decided to make things difficult for him. He said, "If you can peel 200 tons of potatoes, I'll let you join the training." Donald immediately got to work. He peeled every single potato in record time, then rushed to the officer's office to report. The officer began testing Donald's sense of balance, but even the simplest moves, Donald failed miserably. So the officer removed the tail fin from a plane, blindfolded Donald, spun him around, and ordered him to reattach it. However, Donald accidentally walked toward the window instead. He kicked a vase off the ledge by mistake. The officer thought Donald had fallen out the window and hurried over to check. At that exact moment, Donald stepped up behind him and shoved the tail fin straight into the officer's backside. Delighted, Donald took off his blindfold, only to see the officer tumbling out the window. Later, the officer brought Donald along for field training. As the soldiers parachuted one after another, Donald thought it looked easy, until he looked down and saw how high they were. Terrified, he scrambled back into the plane. The officer grabbed him by the collar and forced him to jump. In midair, Donald panicked and clung tightly to the officer's leg. Even after pulling the officer out of the plane, he refused to let go. In the chaos, the officer accidentally grabbed onto a missile. Horrified, he quickly handed the missile to Donald. But Donald, thinking fast, shoved the missile right into the officer's pants. Moments later, the missile exploded, and both of them were blown to pieces.